Hello, this is going to be a lot different than what I usually put on here or anywhere, but we're going with it. Quick disclaimer, I know the quality is bad, could not be bothered with the good camera. Also, this is about paranormal stuff. If that scares you, or you don't think it's real, or you just are not into that, please don't make yourself watch this. Also, if you came here to call me something mean, or to just be mean in general, or something like that, you have better things to do, I have better things to do. Also, I have better things to do than make up ghost stories to put on the internet, so let's not even go there. Okay, so I woke up this morning with a really weird feeling. I get these sometimes. I've had paranormal type experiences in the past. It's never been a real scary thing for me. I mean, it's not like I look forward to it or something, but it's always very matter of fact. So I woke up this morning with a very weird feeling. I don't think I'm psychic. If I was psychic, I'd be the worst psychic in the world, which we'll get into later. But I get these feelings, and I woke up this morning with one, and it didn't feel ominous. It didn't feel bad, but it felt like something was going to happen. That's the only way I can describe it. So I kind of brushed it off because, like I said, worst psychic in the world. Sometimes something actually happens, sometimes something totally unrelated happens, and sometimes something actually happens. So it's kind of like, you know. I brushed it off, went about my day, and then I was out here for a while, and then I decided to go in the back and get ready and take my medicine and stuff, and I went down the hall, which is right there, and my parents' room is that door. That's the bathroom, and then my room is right there. So it's like parents' room, my room, bathroom, you know? So I'm walking down the hall and something's popping up. I get these thoughts, not like somebody talking to me in my head or something. It's not like anybody's talking to me, but I was trying to explain it to somebody before, and it's like from a scale of 1 to 10, normal thoughts are like a 3 in like loudness or something. Normal thoughts are like a 3. If you're really anxious or something, it's like a 6. And then these are like a 10. Like, this is all I think about. It's not like loud as in yelling, but it's like that's all I can think about. Everything else is blocked out. Like, that's all I can think about. So I got one of these thoughts, and again, sometimes I get these thoughts and something totally unrelated happens, nothing happens, or the thing actually happens. Worst psychic in the world. So I was walking down the hall, and I got a thought, and it was, there's a ghost in the room. And totally different story. I have a room ghost. I'm not going to go into it. It's not scary. Whatever, it's just, it is what it is. So I was kind of like, okay, like, yes, brain, we're aware, we know, been there, done that. You know, so I'm walking, and the way my house is laid out, like I said, my parents' room, my room, when I walk down the hall, when I go into my room, if I turn a certain way, I can see into my parents' room. So I went down and I turned that way, and I could see a woman in my parents' room. Now, I'm home alone, okay? I see a woman in my parents' room, and she looks at me, and it's very weird. I've only had one time where I very distinctly saw somebody or something, whatever. I never know what to call this kind of paranormal stuff, but I've only had one time, and it was my room ghost, and different story. So this was kind of weird. Whenever I see paranormal stuff, it's really hard to explain. It's always very hazy, kind of, and like, I can tell that they're there, I can feel that they're there, I can mostly see that they're there, but they don't actually look like they're there, which sounds really weird if you don't know what I'm talking about, but that's the best way I can explain it. And she looked kind of like Mad Men era type thing, like late 30s, early 40s. She was wearing like a green, what are those called? Like skirt suits, like an office type wear. And she had like reddish brown hair and like, not a beehive, but like a something like that. You know what I mean? And she looked at me like she had heard me coming, but I wasn't supposed to see whatever she was doing. which was really weird. It wasn't scary at all, which is very weird because I am very easily scared. I am the world's biggest wimp. So I just kind of kept going, and I was like, okay, I said sorry. I was like, oh, sorry, because like I talk to everybody all the time. I talk to everything. I talk to the toaster. I talk to myself, whatever. I was just like, oh, sorry, you know, like, because I felt like I barged in on something that I really wasn't supposed to, but it didn't feel like bad energy or anything like that. So I went and I got my medicine, and I came back out here, and I was like, that was weird. And then I was sitting right where I am now, drinking my tea, and I'm going to explain a little bit about where I live. I live in California, and the way my house is set up, my whole neighborhood is kind of up on a hill, but my house itself it's not like a stilt house, but it's up on like a raised platform, and it's not a basement underneath, but it's like a, I don't know, it's like a, not a crawl space, but it's like a little bit bigger, but it's just like, I don't feel like walking out there to show you. It has like, it's not level with the ground, it's very high above the ground. My neighbor's house is below us, and then my other neighbor is below us, so we're up high. We don't really get bugs in here because we're not on the ground, you know? And the windows and everything are always shut because we have a cat and she will exit the building, so we don't really get flies in here. We get, I don't know, the odd fly every once in a while, but in general, we don't get flies. So I was sitting here, and I had been out here all morning, you know, and there was no flies, and I hadn't opened anything up. It's been like 15 minutes, you know, and I'm sitting here, and there's this fly buzzing around my head, and I was just like, this is so annoying. Like, I was just like, it was being really annoying, okay? They were like darting back and forth across my face and around my head, and I was just like, it was driving me up the wall. So I started feeling, somebody's outside, okay, whatever. I started feeling really weird again, and I had kind of written off the woman back there. I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna leave alone. I'm gonna stay out here for a little, you know. Obviously, I'm not supposed to be back there right now. Basically, was my whole thing. So I'm sitting here with the fly, and as soon as the fly like started doing that stuff, started feeling so heavy. It's such a weird feeling to try to explain if you haven't experienced it, but it just feels like the air is heavy and like everything is heavy, and it was just like such a quick switch. It was so weird, and I started getting kind of worried. And then I went back over there because the dogs are in here, and I went to go sit with them because I really just wanted to be by, there's a door over there that's open. It has a screen and everything, but I really wanted to be by the door for whatever reason. I really did not want to be over here anymore. So I got up and I went over there, and there were literally like 12 to 15 flies, which is really, really weird for where I am and for my house. Like, that doesn't happen. Just all buzzing around just that one little area of the house. And I mean, I've been out here all morning. I was over there most of the morning. Like, I would have known if there were like 15 flies, you know, and I'm not exaggerating. And they were just everywhere, and the dogs were biting at them, and the cat was going after them, and they were just everywhere, and there kept being like more and more, and it was the weirdest thing. And so I was kind of like, at that point I started getting kind of freaked out because I was like, this is weird. I feel just really bad. It's the weirdest feeling. It wasn't necessarily scary. It was just like, this is bad. I don't want to be here anymore. For whatever reason, I was just like, I'm not supposed to be here anymore. So I kind of just sat there and I tried to wait it out, and while I was waiting, I was doing a bunch of Googling about flies and like paranormal stuff, and I guess flies are something that can kind of tend to happen with paranormal stuff. I don't know. I stopped looking into it because I was like, I'm not freaking myself out while I'm home alone, you know? So I just kind of just sat there and did whatever, and then it kept feeling really heavy, and it was just getting heavier and heavier and harder to breathe and more uncomfortable, and not in like a panicky, I'm having a panic attack or anything like that kind of way. I wasn't really afraid. It was just the air gets so heavy. And then I don't really know what makes it do this, but like our plumbing is really loud. And if somebody turns on the water, you can like hear the creak of the pipes and stuff throughout the whole house, and it's a very distinct sound. And I heard somebody turn the water on in the back, in the bathroom, and I was like, okay, we're staying out here, which was really weird. And I just kept getting this feeling like I was not supposed to go back there. Not in a scared way, but in just a very like, I'm not supposed to be back there right now. I need to let them do whatever they're doing and stay out of their hair. And then my dad has a radio in his bathroom, and he listens to show tunes. And I started hearing like show tunes going, and it wasn't me imagining it. Like, I've imagined it before, and I don't know a lot of show tunes that my dad likes, and this was one I've never heard before. And I went and got closer, and I could hear it louder, and I was like, okay, that's kind of unsettling. Yep. So I just stayed out here and waited for it to pass, and it eventually started to lift. And so I stood in the hallway and I was like, hey, I'm coming back. I need to take a shower and get ready. Just a heads up, in like 5 minutes I'm going to be going back there, you know. And it didn't feel like I was being pushed out again, so I went and I did my thing, and then I got into the bathroom to take a shower, and I had the weirdest feeling. I don't know how to explain it. It felt like overbearing mother. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just felt like overbearing mother, and I felt so weird, and I felt like there was somebody else in the room with me, and I just felt like I was being watched. And I mean, it went from like me pretty much feeling better to like totally feeling like there's somebody there. And I usually take a shower with the door open if there's nobody, you know, home, because what's the point? And I had to like close the door, and I usually don't like being in like the bathroom by myself after that kind of stuff, but I just felt like there was like somebody in the other room who could like see me or something, and I just felt like very like overbearing mother feeling. It was so weird. It was the weirdest thing, and I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but every time I have I'm like losing my voice, I'm sorry. Every time I have like a paranormal experience or something, it always, after the fact, like when everything goes away, it always feels like it was like a dream or something. And I know it wasn't. Like, I've been awake since like 7, you know. It wasn't a dream, but it's so weird. It feels like so disconnected from everything. It's just, I don't know, it's really weird. Does that happen to anybody else, or is that just me? I don't know. So that's been my morning. Everything seems fine now. I wasn't watching anything or thinking about anything that would make me think I'm seeing ghosts. I don't know. It happens. Whatever. It seems fine now. I don't know. I've always felt like there was something other than my room ghost in the house somewhere, specifically in that part of the house, so it makes sense to me. And it felt the exact same way it has when I haven't been able to see her or them, whatever it is. So, I don't know. That was my morning. This is a long video. I'm sorry. I hope that was kind of interesting to some people, and I hope it makes sense. I'm kind of foggy right now, and this stuff, like I said, it always feels like a dream, so it's like, it's so hard for me to remember stuff, and it's, I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean. So, I hope everybody's doing well. Be safe. Have a good day. Bye.